Table this morning, Ken Livingston, Shirley Williams, David Mellor, and in Newcastle, Tony Blair. Tony Blair, what's your analysis of the reason for Labour's defeat?
We had a tremendous leap to come from 1987 to actually win an overall majority. We, of course, took many, many seats. I mean, our sense of disappointment, obvious sense of disappointment, must be balanced by the sense of achievement that we took so many seats in different parts of the country. But it was too much to do, so it now appears, to come from where we were in 1987 to actually win an overall majority. But we have vastly reduced the Conservative majority down from, around about 100 seats to less than a fifth of that. And I think, too, that what else is very positive in this campaign for us was that in many ways the agenda was ours.
Could it be that John Major read the public mood on tax far better than you did? He saw instinctively that when people told the pollsters they were willing to pay more tax and have better public services, they were not telling the whole truth.
No, I think it was that, in some ways, the Conservatives, I think most people believe, did not deserve to win the election. But the question was ultimately whether people were prepared to come in sufficiently great numbers for the Labour Party, for Labour actually to win power. And as I say, if you actually look at the number of seats we gained, it was very considerable. If you look at the number of seats the Conservatives lost, it was very considerable. But coming from where we were back in the first defeat of 83 and then 87, we couldn't make that final leap, not in the sufficient numbers that we required to win an overall majority or indeed to put the Conservatives out of office. Now, of course, that's a tremendous disappointment. It would be rather strange if it wasn't to us, since we fought in many ways a very good campaign. But I do think it should be balanced and measured against that sense of achievement, and also the fact that we won seats in all parts of the country. And we won seats down in the southwest, we won seats in London, which I think was very important, and of course we won seats in the northwest and Midlands and the north too.
Now that Mr Kinnock is a two-time loser, does he have your unqualified support as leader for as long as he wants to go on?
That is not even on the agenda today, and let me tell you something about the campaign that Neil Kinnock fought. It was a brilliant campaign. He earned the gratitude and respect of many people, not just in the Labour Party, but throughout the country. I spent quite a long time with them during the course of that campaign, and I saw firsthand the absolutely superb job of leadership that he did, and he has our tremendous respect and gratitude and support.
Let me put the same question to Ken Livingston. Does Neil Kinnock have your unqualified support as leader for as long as he wants to go on?
Yes, we don't want to get into a leadership struggle. We don't want to say one person is to blame. The whole movement is to blame for this defeat. This is the election where power was really in our hands and we let it slip away. No government in the last 60 years in any Western democracy has gone through a recession as severe as this and been re-elected. And therefore, I think Tony's wrong, and he's being very optimistic. We should have had a commanding majority, perhaps over 100 seats, which is what the economic factors would have led to.
Where does the blame lie? Put your finger on it.
I think the whole party has moved too far to the right, been too frightened to challenge vested interests. We also didn't have our sums add up in all of this. We didn't say we were going to cut defence spending. We didn't say we were going to have any constraints on the export of capital abroad. We said we'd spend more on investment in industry, more on pensions, and people could see those figures couldn't add up. As soon as Labour decided it wasn't going to reduce military spending, you were led inevitably into this tax quagmire. And I found across London and the South East, where the average male earnings are $20,000 a year, that fatal mistake of saying, well, national insurance contributions at $21,000, you're going to have to start paying, meant the average voter in the South East felt our tax policies were hitting him, not the filthy capitalist class, just the ordinary middle-income family.
What do you say to that, Tony Blair?
I don't accept that the shadow budget was a mistake in any way at all. Indeed, I think it was generally regarded as one of the coups of the campaign. It set the agenda for a lot of the time. 8 out of 10 families gained under Labour's proposals. And I think that in terms of the economic agenda, many of the issues that were fought in the campaign were fought very much on our territory. And I do think you have to remember the tremendous uphill struggle that we had. Indeed, I remember people saying, not so many months ago, never mind several years ago, that the task was enormous. Well, we accomplished a lot, we didn't accomplish enough. But I believe that John Smith's shadow budget was very successful indeed.